In this video, we're going to continue our discussion of solving inequalities, but we'll look at some examples that also involve the distributive property of multiplication over addition or subtraction. If you note in the example that we're looking at here, we also have fractions. So if you're not comfortable working with fractions in inequalities or equations, you can go back to the previous video, and there are a few examples there that can help you better understand how that works. Here, we're going to be focusing on the distributive property, but we do have to deal with the problem of the fractions in front of the left side. So I'll rewrite my problem. I have 1/3 times 3 minus 2x less than or equal to -4 times x plus 1. What I want to do is multiply both sides by a positive 3. And what that looks like in execution is going to be this. Now, some students think that what we have to do here is to multiply the 3 times the 1/3 on the left, and then multiply 3 times everything in parentheses. But that's not correct. All we have to do is first multiply the 3 times the 1/3, and we'll have a new product of 1. That 1 will then be distributed to each term inside the parentheses. And the same thing on the right side. We're not going to multiply 3 times -4 and then 3 times x plus 1. We're simply going to multiply 3 times -4 and then distribute that -12 into each term in the parentheses. So I hope that's clear. That 3 is already incorporated into the -12 on the right side, or will already be incorporated into the positive 1 on the left side. So we don't distribute the 3 to everything. We multiply the first terms, then we distribute that product. So let's see what that looks like here. 3 times 1/3 is just 1. And I'm just going to rewrite the rest of that left side. We have 1 times 3 minus 2x, which is really just 3 minus 2x. 1 times anything is itself, and so we can remove those parentheses. And in the future, I won't continue to rewrite them like that. So then we have less than or equal to. 3 times -4 is -12. And then we're going to distribute the -12 to each term inside the parentheses. I hope that's clear. The 3 is already incorporated into, or the factor of 3 is already incorporated into that -12. So let's distribute on the right side. The left side will stay the same. And we'll get -12x minus 12 when we distribute here. This time I'm going to add 12x to both sides, and when I do, I end up with 3 is less than or equal, nope, hold on. Don't forget the -2x and the positive 12x gives us 10x, and on the right side, the -12x and positive 12x zero out, and we're left with -12. At this point, I'm going to subtract 3 from each side, and I end up with 10x is less than or equal to -15. So if I bring that up here, 10x less than or equal to -15. I'm going to divide both sides by 10. Note I didn't divide or multiply by a negative number, so the direction of the inequality is not reversed. And I get x is less than or equal to -15 over 10. You can put that into your calculator if it reduces fractions, or we divide numerator and denominator by 5. We don't need that graph just yet, and we will end up with -3 over 2. And so that would be the solution to our inequality here. X is less than or equal to -3 over 2. So let's go ahead and graph that set of solutions. We have our number line. We start at -3/2. Note, because we do have an equal sign under the less than, means that we do include -3/2 in the solution. So we start with a closed circle at -3/2. We shade in the direction of our solution, not necessarily in the direction of the original inequality. In this case, they're both the same. And so we will shade to the left, and we get x is less than or equal to -3/2, and the graphical representation of that entire solution set. So let's go into another example here on the next page. We have 1/2 times 3 minus x less than or equal to 2x plus 5. If you think you got it, then please pause the video, work through the exercise, and when you're done, come back to verify your solution. We've also seen how you can check your own answer to be sure, but in either case, pause and come back and I will work through the solution here as well. All right, let's begin. We'll rewrite 1/2 times the quantity 3 minus x is less than or equal to 2x plus 5. We do have a fraction, only one fraction, so the common denominator will be 2. We'll multiply each term or each side and each term on each side by +2. Breaking that down, we get, so we're going to multiply 2 times each term. Notice that on the left side, we're only going to multiply the 2 times the 1/2, which will give us 1, and then distribute that 1 into the 3 minus x. So as we do, the 2's here will cross cancel, and we get 1 times 3 minus x, and I'll just jump right ahead to that 3 minus x there. 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 5 is 10. This time I'm going to add x to both sides. And so we'll end up with our variable on the right side, which is not a problem. We've learned how to deal with that. And we have 3 is less than or equal to 5x plus 10. Subtracting 10 on each side now gives me -7 is less than or equal to 5x. We'll continue that over here. -7 less than or equal to 5x, dividing both sides by 5. And we end up with -7/5 less than or equal to x. We would like to have our x on the left side, our variable on the left side, so we're going to read from right to left. X is greater than or equal to -7/5, and we're going to write it the way that we read it. X is greater than or equal to -7/5, and now we're ready to graph our solution. We have our number line, we have -7/5. This time there is an equal symbol underneath the greater than, and so we do include 7/5 in our solution set. So we begin with a solid circle at -7/5. We shade in the direction of our solution, which is to the right here, not necessarily in the direction of the original inequality. So we shade to the right, and there we have the graphical representation of the entire solution set to this original inequality. We'd like to do one more of these just to make sure you get the idea. So go on to the next page. And here, fortunately, there are no fractions involved. And so we'll simply begin by distributing. We have 2 times 3x plus 4 is greater than 3 times the quantity x plus 3. Distributing on the left, we get 6x plus 8 is greater than 3x plus 9 on the right. I will subtract 3x from each side. This time my variables will end up on the left. I get 3x plus 8 on the left greater than 9. Subtracting 8 on each side, I end up with 3x is greater than 1. Dividing by 3, I have x is greater than 1/3. Now, I'm ready to begin to graph that, and I have no equal symbol under the greater than, so I do not include 1/3 in my solution set. Therefore, I begin with an open circle at 1/3, shade in the direction of the solution, which is to the right, and there you have it. So these are examples of solving inequalities that involve the distributive process. And that will do it for the different types of examples that we will encounter in solving inequalities. Some basic examples, somewhere we'll have to multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, reversing the direction of the inequality. Some involving fractions, some involving the distributive property of multiplication over addition or subtraction. So I hope these were helpful. In the next video, we will go on to look at some applications or word problems and solve inequalities in that way.